Hey, RetconRaider here, and welcome back to episode 54. Today we're celebrating our recent alliance with House Ravenholt by wandering blindly into the Wildlands. And as you can see here, we've already spotted our first victims. We'll warm up by taking these guys out, then we'll go check out one of those strongholds. Now this group only contains Orc Young and Orc Berserkers, and we've got plenty of experience with taking these guys down by now. This should be a pretty quick and bloody fight. Our archers are up. Alessandro puts arrows through a Berserker's chest and hand. Wojtek takes off the Berserker's ear, then cuts it down with a second arrow, before sinking another arrow through an Orc Young's arm. Bunny puts an arrow through an Orc Young's shoulder and kills it with a follow-up shot. The rest of the Orc, unperturbed by their casualties, continue rushing our line. They seem to be angling for that small strip of elevated terrain, but of course it's not going to do them any good. The rest of the men will hold position, but Eraton will ready his legendary throwing axes. And he lands a couple of light hits. Our spearmen will ready their spears. And pushing into round 2. An Orc Berserker advances on our line. Another Orc begins hurling javelins. And our archers return fire. Alessandro puts an arrow through a Berserker's chest. Fox cuts down the wounded Berserker, then shoots another Berserker through the guts. The Orcs continue to advance on our line. One even charges, but Reinhard turns it away with his spear. Wojtek shoots off an Orc's ear. Bunny finishes off the one-eared Orc. And Rowan puts a crossbow bolt through an Orc's side. Eraton hurls the last of his axes at the advancing Orcs, shredding an Orc's armor. Our spearmen keep their spears at the ready. And pushing into round 3. The last Orc Berserker starts circling our line. Another Orc continues hurling javelins at us. Alessandro puts an arrow through the flanking Berserker's hand. And we've got contact on our front lines. Wojtek stays focused on the flanking Berserker, putting an arrow through his shoulder and side. Woe moves up, preparing for next round. Fox finishes off that Berserker. Then puts another arrow through the javelin. Puts arrows through 2 Orcs' shoulders. Rowan finishes off one of the wounded Orcs, then quickly reloads, and finishes off the other Orc as well. There are only 2 Orcs left on the field at this point, so... Yep, there we go. One of them just turned tail and ran. We've still got one on our line, so we'll take him down real quick. Eraton switches back off to his dagger. He unleashes a flurry of blows and lands a couple of light hits. Belfontaine moves up, landing another light hit. Janos lays into the Orc, breaking its morale and pushing it to the brink of death. Then Reinhard moves in and finishes it off. That other Orc has way too much of a head start on us, but we'll at least make a token effort to chase it down. Actually, you know what? It's over. There are plenty more Orcs where that one came from. Looks like we've got a 3-way tie for MVP, and the loot's about what you'd expect from a small group of Orcs. Oh, but since we're on the subject of our inventory, we currently have the Wagon Ambition, and we already have enough gold to actually complete it. We just need to wait for the event to trigger. In the meantime, let's go take out that Orc camp over there. Welcome back. We just finished waiting for the sun to rise, and now it's time to attack the Bonebreaker's Cavern. This place is only populated by berserkers, so it should be another quick and easy fight. Though that awkward forest terrain will certainly slow things down a little bit. Fortunately, the berserkers don't have any ranged attacks, so as long as we hold our ground, they'll eventually come to us. We'll take a few pot shots at them wherever possible. Berserker chains, man-splitters. Those are some dangerous weapons they're wielding. But as long as we kill these guys before they can actually use them, that shouldn't be a problem. Fox lands our first hit, putting an arrow through a berserker's arm. Bunny follows up by taking off another berserker's ear. The rest of our men hold position. Chiron and Reinhard ready their spears. And moving into round 2. The berserkers continue their advance, and we've got contact on the front lines. Potato is up. He puts an arrow through a berserker's shoulder. The berserkers begin spreading out, likely trying to flank our position. Mark puts an arrow through an orc's arm. Fox takes aim, puts an arrow through another orc's arm, breaking its morale. Bunny turns her attention to the orcs approaching from the southeast. She takes off the berserker's ear, then sinks a second arrow into his chest. Roderick finishes off the badly wounded orc in front of him, but he's not sure he wants to advance on these other 3 orcs. Roderick lays into one of the wounded berserkers with his dagger, and the rest of the men start moving up to support him. Igot hacks into another berserker. Rondis quickly moves up as well. Actually, Rondis starts angling to the south to block the other approaching orcs. Janos moves up to support Roderick. He readies his great hammer, but can't land the hit. Kazran readies his spear. Reinhard moves in. Doles out a couple of flesh wounds to the battle-axe-wielding orc. Roderick's shield takes a nasty hit. Vlad moves up, readying his pike. He carefully chooses his target, going for the most dangerous orc on our line, but ends up missing anyway. Round 3. The orcs continue to slowly approach from the southeast. Fox puts an arrow through an orc's shoulder and arm. Then Bunny finishes it off with another shot, before she turns and calmly puts an arrow through another orc's face. Ooh. Janos is practically disemboweled by an orc with a man-splitter. I knew I should have focused fire on that guy. Potato puts down another orc berserker, then moves up and fires through the ranks. Roderick lays into the orcs. Savaging one and cutting down another. Mark moves up, then puts an arrow through the battle-axe-wielding orc's side. Vlad tears into the orc's leg, breaking its morale. The rest of our men begin slowly surrounding. Oop, okay, Reinhard cuts down one of the remaining orcs. That just leaves one remaining orc on the battlefield, and he's trying to run away at this point. Yeah, that deep abdominal cut will definitely keep Janos on the sidelines for a while. The orc tries to run, and Reinhard cuts it down, which actually nets him MVP. As far as loot goes, nothing great, but that should be worth at least 2,000 or 3,000 gold. Okay, at this point I think we'll start heading west, and we'll check out this little peninsula over here. Let's go see what we can find. And we're back. We found a small goblin camp, as well as a small group of orc hunters. The pointy-ear hideout will definitely be the tougher of the two fights, so let's take out the orcs first. Okay, once again we're up against a group of young orcs and orc berserkers. I can't say I'm crazy about the terrain, but since these guys are all close combat fighters, it shouldn't be an issue. Let's see what kind of damage our archers can do. There's a couple of light hits on the lead berserker. Rowan takes aim and pierces a berserker's chest with his crossbow. Potato sinks a couple of arrows into a heavily armored orc. Our spearmen ready their spears. Wajtek pierces another orc's chest, then kills it with a follow-up shot, then pierces the hand of another berserker. Moving into round 2. The orcs continue their slow but steady charge. Fortunately, that elevated terrain is actually slowing them down a bit. Potato sinks 2 more arrows into an orc. Mark hits the orc again, breaking its morale. Then he switches targets and sinks an arrow into another orc. Alessandro drops the broken orc. Rowan punches a crossbow bolt through another orc's arm. Wajtek pierces a berserker's shoulder. Eraton lands a glancing hit with his throwing axes. Our spearmen keep their spears at the ready. And here come the orcs. Chiron turns away multiple charges. Moving into round 3. A berserker moves up and engages Woe. Another berserker darts into the bushes behind it. Wajtek sinks an arrow into an orc. Potato drops the berserker on Woe, then sinks an arrow into another charging orc. Alessandro pierces an orc's chest and then another orc's leg. There's a berserker hiding in that bush, so Woe goes on the defensive. Rowan sinks another crossbow bolt into an orc's chest. Mark pierces an orc's hand, then kills it with his second shot. Chiron turns away yet another charging orc. Oswald starts moving up, readying his warbrand. Oh, but he is not actually close enough. There we go. He cuts down a wounded orc, then lashes into another. Oh, but he takes a nasty bleeding wound in return. Rondis hops the line, moving to engage the concealed berserker. Oh, jeez. Oswald just took a nasty hit. He's stunned, and I think he also suffered a pierced cheek. Eraton moves up to support Oswald, as does Dominic. Dominic swiftly breaks the charging orc's morale. Kazarin moves to support Rondis. Reinhard moves up as well. Woe moves up, breaking a berserker's morale. Ah, Chiron loses his shield, deflecting an orc war axe. I really like that shield. Our archers start moving up to fire through the ranks. Alessandro breaks another orc's morale. Woe continues cutting into the chain-wielding berserker. Potato backs up Chiron, sinking an arrow into an orc berserker's side. Mark cuts down the chain-wielding berserker, then leaps up onto an elevated position. Rondis finishes off the orc on the south, then moves to engage the last two. Ooh, I didn't realize Oswald was so close to death. Eraton cuts down the second-to-last foe. Fortunately, Oswald should be fine as long as we can finish this fight quickly. Dominic lays into the last orc and finishes it off with his spear. Yeah, that's a pierced cheek on Oswald. -3 fatigue recovery per turn. Well, he'll be benched for a while, but he'll survive. And it looks like Mark pulls MVP with 2 kills. Not a lot of loot, but we got some experience, and these orc weapons should net us about 1,000 gold. I'll take care of our inventory management and rearrange our line a little, and then it's time to hit that goblin stronghold. Alright, it's time to lay siege to that goblin camp. Of course, there is a shaman in there, so this is going to get annoying. Wow, that is way more goblin ambushers than I was hoping we'd have to deal with. On the bright side, there's only 4 skirmishers, so as long as we're... Okay, well, as long as we don't see too many of our guys getting poisoned, we... Come on. Okay, we're not off to a great start here. Both Eraton and Roderick have been poisoned. But we've still got 4 active frontliners. Let's see if we can pick some of these guys off with return fire. Wajtek drops one of the ambushers. Nicely done. Fox cuts down a skirmisher, then shoots another skirmisher in the side. There's those brambles we knew were coming. Bunny pierces the side of an ambusher. Our entire north line is tangled up, so they're going to need to use their actions to break free. But I will start the charge. The sooner we can get people close to those ambushers, the sooner they'll start panicking and running all over the place. Vlad tears off his brambles, starts moving up as well. Rondis eagerly joins the charge. Reinhardt is stuck where he is. Kazarin is up, and you'll notice his shield actually did survive the fight, though it needs some repairs. He moves up to provide cover for our archers. Roderick takes another minor hit. I like his current shield, but I might need to switch him back to a kite shield just for the extra range defense bonus. The goblins are clearly preparing for our charge. The ambushers continue firing on us, but they're definitely focusing their fire on Roderick. Fortunately, some of them are panicking. We're seeing a few of them wasting their turns. Our archers are returning fire, but without much luck. The north line is locked down with brambles again. Moves in, engaging... Oh, no, he gets pushed back by the goblin spearman. He quickly re-engages. Vlad once again frees himself from the brambles, but stays where he is. Rondis rushes in to engage an ambusher. Oh, but he gets turned away as well. I guess those goblin skirmishers actually have spear mastery. Fox cuts down another ambusher. Roderick is pinned down for the moment. Reinhardt finally breaks free, begins advancing on the goblin horde, as does Eraton. Henry moves up to support I Got. Vlad switches off to his shield, then continues advancing. And I think we're moving into round 3. We've got an ambusher flanking on the south. Rondis just took a minor hit. The other ambushers are continuing to scatter. The shaman tangles up Rondis. Our archers focus on that flanking ambusher. Wojtek hits him with a gut shot, then cuts him down with a second shot. I Got just took a couple of minor hits there, but nothing that got through his armor. Eraton starts moving up again. But he's poisoned and lightly wounded, so we won't have him engage. He switches off to his axes instead. We've neutralized most of the ambushers at this point, so Kazarin moves up. Rondis tears free from the brambles. He charges into an ambusher, planting his dagger in the goblin's chest. Vlad readies his pike, but can't get past his target's shield. I Got readies his great axe, but he can't land a hit either. Fox takes aim. Those goblin skirmishers are doing an admirable job of tanking our men. Well, they were anyway. Reinhard moves in and cuts one of the goblins down. Roderick tears free from the brambles, starts moving up. At this point, it looks like the remaining ambushers are trying to flee. I can certainly live with that. I guess I spoke too soon. They're still harassing us from the fog of war. The shaman tangles up Reinhard and Vlad. Bunny sinks an arrow into a skirmisher's shoulder. Alessandro starts moving up. Wojtek cuts down one of the last skirmishers. Roderick moves forward to engage. Kazarin continues moving up to keep the ambushers on the defensive. Eraton moves up, hurls an axe through the ranks, and lands a light hit. Vlad spends the turn freeing himself. I Got cuts down the second to last skirmisher with his dagger. And Rondis moves up to lock down the enemy shaman. Fox is pinned in place. Reinhard breaks free and engages the shaman as well. And round 5. The ambushers continue to fall back. The shaman covers Wojtek and bees. Our archers will all start moving up as they look for open shots. Kazarin continues pursuing the ambushers, locking one of them down. Eraton cuts down the last skirmisher with a well-placed throwing axe. Vlad moves up to support Reinhard and Rondis. And Rondis quickly tears into the Goblin Shaman, piercing his chest and arm. Igot moves up to support Kazarin. Reinhard kills the badly wounded Shaman. At this point, we've still got 3 enemies on the field, but I think it's all ambushers, and I think they're all trying to flee, so let's sick the dogs on them. Reinhard's dog locks down another ambusher. Fox finally gets free of the brambles, starts advancing. Moving into round 6. The 2 pinned goblin ambushers start fighting back. Our own archers continue advancing. Kazarin tears into one of the ambushers, shredding off his armor and badly wounding him. Roderick adds another dog to the fray. Eraton does as well, which breaks a goblin's morale. Vlad moves up and unleashes yet another dog. At this point, we have to overwhelm these goblins quickly before they can actually hurt or kill any of our dogs. Moving into round 7. One of the dogs tears down a goblin ambusher. It also looks like we lost an ambusher. I guess he managed to flee. But this last ambusher's surrounded on 3 sides, so I don't think he's going anywhere. Kazarin moves up to engage, and Igot moves to finish pinning the ambusher in place. At this point, we're just cycling through everyone so we can move into round 8. The dogs will probably tear the ambusher to pieces, but if they don't, then we'll have Igot or Kazarin finish it off. Oh, there we go. Well done, dogs. Looks like Reinhard hits level 12, and MVP goes to Wojtek with 3 kills. We've also got... oh, would you look at that? We've got the Battle-Forged Guardian, which has a pretty solid melee defense. And we've got a second unique shield as well, the Glorious Protector. I've never seen 2 unique items drop at once. Well, we're out of inventory space, so I'll take care of the loot management off-screen, and we'll pick up here next time. Hey, RetconRaider here. Well, despite 2 nasty injuries, that was still a good day for the Raiders. We fought our way through 4 groups of greenskins, took down 2 strongholds, and even found 2 unique items. Granted, I would have preferred to find unique weapons or armor, but I'm certainly not complaining about getting some new shields. Unfortunately, I've noticed that we're also starting to run a bit low on food already. I guess I didn't account for the fact that we're feeding 20 men these days. We'll probably need to head back to town soon, so we can unload all this loot and buy some more provisions. If we're going to keep exploring the Wildlands, then we'll need to be carrying at least 200 units worth of food items. Thankfully, we should have a new wagon by the time we get back to town. The event should be triggering any time now, and once it does, we'll have about 24 more inventory slots to play with. Really, I probably should have just waited for it to trigger before I even attacked that goblin camp. I guess I got a little too eager to kill some more greenskins. So next time, we'll be heading back to town, resupplying, and then heading right back into the Wildlands to see what other trouble we can get ourselves into. The second crisis should be starting any time now, so hopefully we can find at least 1 or 2 more unique items before then. But for now, this is RetconRaider, signing off. Thanks for watching. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Battle Brothers, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website or the fan-run wiki. Links are in the description.